Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to cut through a lot of the noise surrounding Tantra.
A lot of noise.
We're going to be decoding some really profound source material, the Shiva Shakti dialogue. And our mission really is to look at it not as mythology,
No, not at all.
but as a practical, almost clinical science of consciousness. It's all about transformation.
Right. And, when most people hear the word Tantra, their minds go somewhere else entirely.
Oh, absolutely. To what? Unknown mantras or some kind of external miracle?
Exactly. Quick, magical results. But the sources, they make it clear right from the start that this whole view it misses the point entirely.
It really does. The first, and I think most vital insight here, is that the only true miracle in Tantra is internal, completely internal. It's about the transformation of the individual, the jiva, into the state of Shiva or Shiftva.
Yeah.
It's a complete restructuring of who you are.
And this is where that distinction between philosophy and science becomes
Yeah.
absolutely critical.
Okay, let's unpack that. Philosophy or darshan?
Darshan, yeah. It's always asking why. It operates completely in the mind, in the intellect. You can spend a whole lifetime debating the nature of reality.
And not change one bit.
Precisely.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
understand things, but you don't change. The mind can't change the self.
So Tantra flips that.
Completely. Tantra is the vidi. It's the science, the method. It doesn't ask why, it asks how.
How do I do it?
Yes. It bypasses all the intellectual arguments. It demands a visceral and experiential self-transformation. You have to change your internal state to even begin to grasp the truth.
You know, the analogy the sources use here is, it's perfect.
The one about the blind person.
Yeah. So, a philosopher will come to a blind person and spend hours describing light.
Oh, the color, the intensity, wave-particle duality,
Ah,
all of it.
right. But the Tantra expert, the Sadhguru, they operate on a totally different level,
They wouldn't even bother describing the light. Why would they? Their only focus is on treating the person's eyes.
giving them the method.
The vidi. So they can see the light for themselves. Tantra is the method to go beyond just consciousness and actually experience truth.
Which sets an incredibly high bar for the person learning, for the disciple.
It has to.
If the process is like a deep internal treatment,
Yeah.
then the learner has to be completely non-resistant.
Completely. And that brings us to the setting of the dialogue itself, which is just so symbolic.
Devi, or Parvati, is sitting silently on Shiva's lap.
On the highest peak of Kailash, nothing about that is arbitrary. It's a map. It's outlining the single most essential quality you need, strain bhava.
Strain bhava. So the feminine quality, supreme receptivity.
Yes.
In a world that prizes the exact opposite, assertion, logic, why is that quality so critical here?
Because the opposite quality, what's called Purusha bhava.
A masculine quality.
Right. It's logical, it's aggressive, argumentative. It wants to analyze, to pick things apart.
To defend its own position.
Exactly. And if you approach a method of transformation with that kind of aggressive logic, all your energy goes into evaluating the path instead of walking it.
So it's not about being smart. It's about your internal posture.
That's it. The source uses this amazing phrase for strain bhava. It says you need garb jc grahakta,
Womb-like receptivity.
womb-like receptivity. Just think about that. A womb doesn't debate or argue with the ingredients of life.
No, it absorbs them.
It absorbs and nurtures, it integrates them until they become an inseparable part of itself.
That is a fundamental challenge to how we're all taught to learn. We're trained to be intellectual gatekeepers.
We are. And in this context, that intellectual gatekeeping is the biggest barrier there is. The transformation, the rupantaran, it only begins when the logic, the doubt, the intellectual wrestling, all of it just vanishes.
You have to become one with the teaching.
Or the teacher, the Sadhguru. If you're still wrestling with it, you're blocking it. The change can't happen.
That makes Devi's questions so much more profound then. They're not skeptical.
Not at all.
They come from this deep, unquestioning yearning. It's proof that her receptivity is absolute.
She's not asking for proof. She's ready for the method. She asks, what is your true form? Not, do you have a true form?
Right.
She asks about the seed of the universe, how to enter the state beyond time and space. This is a total non-prejudiced readiness. It's so different from, say, Arjuna in the Gita, whose questions were more fragmented,
He was in a crisis.
He was in a crisis. He wanted a solution. Devi is asking for the key to existence itself.
So with all that preparation set, Shiva finally responds. And he doesn't give a lecture.
No bookish answers.
He offers 112 VDs, 112 practical methods.
And the sources say these methods are ancient, but they're also perpetually new, because they're designed to cover every possible type of human personality.
A method for everyone. The visual person, the auditory.
The kinesthetic, exactly. It's like a custom-tailored science for the soul.
But out of all 112, the source material really zeroes in on one particular vidi, the one that's supposed to be uniquely suited for our distracted modern minds. And it all hinges on something so simple we overlook it every second. The breath, schwas.
This is where it gets really practical. The breath is pran, the unceasing flow of life. But more than that, it's the bridge, the setu.
A bridge between what?
Between the body and the self, and even bigger, between your limited self and the entire universe. It's the one thing that's constantly connecting you to everything, and yet...
It's on autopilot. We don't even notice it.
We don't. And Shiva's core instruction about the breath is, like you said, almost deceptively simple.
The ultimate experience happens between two breaths.
That's the whole secret. He says the experience is in that tiny moment after the breath comes all the way in.
Yeah.
But before it starts to go back out.
Or the other way around.
Or the other way around. After it's all the way out and before it starts to come back in.
Yeah.
That split-second turning point, that mod, that's the spot. That's the place of welfare, of kalyan.
That feels like an incredibly difficult target to hit. I mean, our minds are always rushing to the next thing. We live in the movement, not the stillness.
And that's the challenge. It requires a total stillness of attention, but, and this is key, not force. If you try to force your breath to stop, you've already lost.
Because then it becomes an act of control. That's Purusha Bhava again.
Exactly. The assertive mind trying to dominate. This technique is called Sahaj Yoga, the effortless yoga. You're not creating the pause, you're just noticing the pause that's already there.
Just redirecting attention to that existing halt. It reminds me of what Kabir said. I practice the memory of the breath, the unchanted chant.
Shwasaki karun sumarane, kono japa ki jap. That's it. The whole challenge is just to anchor your awareness on that tiny halt, which, the sources say it might only last 1,000th of a second.
A moment the mind just skips right over.
Because the mind only exists in movement. In past or future, it can't exist in that gap.
Okay, let's use the analogy from the sources here because it makes this so clear. The neutral gear in a car.
It's a fantastic analogy. When you're driving, shifting from second to third gear, for a split second the car is in neutral.
It's still moving from momentum, but the engine is disengaged.
Right, that pause between breaths, that mod, is the neutral gear for your consciousness. And if you put all of your attention right there, you stop the momentum of the internal thought machine.
So how is that different from just, say, deep concentration or trying to suppress thoughts?
It's fundamentally different. Concentration is still the mind doing something. The mind is the agent.
Right, trying to focus on one thing.
Hitting the mod isn't the mind doing anything. It's where the mind stops. You achieve a man or manshunyata mindlessness. The flow of thought itself, the God, it just ceases. You're not fighting thoughts because the engine that produces them has been disengaged.
That's the pivotal moment. And the sources say these two pauses, after the inhale and after the exhale, they reveal the great secrets.
They reveal the cosmic cycle happening inside your own body. The in-breath is called life, Jivan. If you can successfully hold your attention in the pause after the inhale, you understand the secret of life.
The impulse of creation.
Yes, and the out-breath, that's called death for you.
And the pause after that.
If you can observe the pause after the exhale, you reveal the secret of Mahamriyu, the great death. And this isn't just about the body dying.
It's the end of the ego, the constructed self.
You realize the self that exists beyond that whole life-death cycle.
So the secrets of life and death aren't some distant philosophical concept. They're available every few seconds, right at that turning point of the breath.
And when you finally succeed in halting your attention there, at the mod, this miraculous internal event happens. If the breath is life, for that moment, you become dead to that life. If the breath is the mind, you become mindless.
And the body.
The body just achieves this profound harmony with the cosmos. It becomes a temple, because that inner wall between you and the universe completely dissolves.
Okay, so let's synthesize this. To recap this incredible journey, Tantra is a clear scientific vidi.
A method.
It demands that intense womb-like receptivity of strain bhava. And the entire secret to unlocking the state of Shiftava is hidden in that momentary neutral gear, that pause in the breath.
And it's so practical. That's the beauty of it. You don't need a temple or a mosque or any external ritual. It's a purely internal science, and it's accessible to every single person.
The only thing you might need is
direction from a guru. especially at the beginning, just to help you spot that fractional pause to make sure you're not turning it into a forceful breathing exercise.
The knowledge is simple, but the implementation is so subtle. But what happens to a person in the world after they achieve this? If the change is that absolute, how does the world even react to them?
Well, this is where the sources offer a really fascinating and subtle warning.
They'll warn.
It says that once this transformation happens, the person might seem so radically different that their own family, their closest friends, might call them mad.
Mad? Why on earth mad?
Because your whole frame of reference is gone. A person who achieves Manshunyata sees reality with total clarity, unbound by concepts. But to people who are still trapped in their thoughts,
That clarity looks like insanity.
it looks illogical, unconcerned with the things everyone else thinks are important. It's that old paradox. A mad person thinks a healthy person is mad.
It's the ultimate failure of language, isn't it, to describe that state, like that Zen story of the fakir who said his body was lost.
Exactly. The identity that was tied to the body, to the name, to the thoughts. It's gone. Even though the body is still walking around, the true self has been recognized.
And that recognition is the entire point of the science.
Waiting for you in that momentary pause. It's proof that you can be fully here in the world, but completely unattached to its definitions of you.
A truly revolutionary idea, hidden in something as simple as a single breath. Something for you to ponder, maybe, the next time you feel that fleeting neutral gear between an inhale and an exhale. Thanks for diving deep with us.